think it's. Can you see me? I hope so. Let's see what happens. I guess I gotta stay right here.
All right.
All right. How y'all doing? How y'all
All right.
doing? My name is Doctah Copeland. Been in hip hop for over 42 years. For me, it's a little different than most. I know nowadays you can go on internet and YouTube and learn how to do it and all that and so forth. For me, when I first learned it, actually learned it out of North Carolina. It wasn't easy. I had to be kind of initiated into it. They wouldn't teach me. One, I was too young. The other cats was like older than me, 13, 14 years old. The only reason I got taught at the age of 9 is because it was two brothers that was fighting, and he missed the punch, and his hand went through the window, cut his arm down to the meat. Down to the bone. He was running to the hospital. To make a long story short, I got him some help. And his younger brother, who knew how to pop and everything, we used to call him Popcorn. He told me since I helped save his brother's life, that he'll start teaching me. And so that's when I first started learning how to pop. And then to get a part of the crew, I had to battle against somebody, I guess you can say the weakest link of the crew. And I beat him. And I'm 8 or 9, they 14 or 15. They ain't like that too well. You got an elementary versus a high school person beating you in the art form. Then when I went back to where I was at in Virginia, Lynchburg, Virginia, nobody really heard of it yet. It wasn't until about, I guess, when Michael Jackson came out with the Blood. What was that, 82, 83?
With the Thriller album?
No, this when he first came out. Was it Beat It? Whatever came out the Glove.
The Wall. Oh well, that was a Thriller album with.
It was Thriller. Yes. I know it was one of when it was like 82, 83. Now right. Everybody kind of learning about. They call it the moonwalk, but we didn't ever call it the moonwalk. Went like this for us, okay. And everybody was taught that the glide, you know what I'm saying, that Michael was doing was considered the moonwalk. But in hip hop, that the moonwalk, you know, you look like you floating on the moon. You know, that was the moonwalk. So. That's how, for me, I kind of got started. And then as the years went by, I went around to different communities and taught a lot of youth. Even at 11 and 12 years old, because like I said, nobody ever seen it. I had already been doing it for 2 or 3 years before they even started, you know, getting popular around everywhere. And so, then, of course, crack came, which was a different era. That's when a lot of people, you know, we had the different crews and everything. What was it at first? It was... crews, we had clans, posses.
Yeah, posses.
You know, posses. And then now they call it gangs. Anything over 3 people is considered a gang, but actually it goes all the way back to the slave laws, or you didn't know anything about the black codes. Because anything that there's 3 of us in the room, this is considered illegal, actually, even to this day, because nobody challenged the law.
All right, that's right.
It is dormant. If they want to right now, we're doing an illegal act under law.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I went around, when crack came in, they kind of changed up a lot of things. And the strange thing, in my particular area, I cannot speak on any place else, but in my particular area, you couldn't find weed nowhere. It's like they cut out weed for like a whole year. And they was going around talking about they had this stuff called Scotty. Beam me up. Y'all remember that back in the day? Yeah. See, that's what they used to say. I was like, what is Scotty? It's to beam me up. I'm like, what? So that's kind of went on for a few years, right? And then of course crack era came, and that kind of really busted up our community. From what I seen, you know, I was out there with it for some years on the street tip. And then when I went to Texas, I always still DJ. I do all 4 hours. I'm considered a b-boy master.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? I do the MCing, I break dance still to this day.
Okay, so you're going to give us some of that today, right?
Oh my God. What was that? I'm pretty much considered, I've been in the b-boy masters a few times, and the DJ world competitions a few times. So actually I was when I first, I'm the only one from Virginia, a couple of them, when I first went, you know. But now they got it like everywhere now, in more states. At first they only used to have like in New York and big cities, the battles.
Yes.
Then they have it in more states and stuff now. But when I first did it, I was like really the only person from Virginia. I think back in 2000, about 10 years ago now, they came to me and did an interview with me at Williams and Mary College. That's where the hip hop collection or the hip hop museum is at. And I got some stuff archived there. Some of my books, my first three CDs, tapes I came out with. I was the first one in Central Virginia to ever put out mixtapes, put out artists, or mixtape artists and all that. I was the first one to do that, and was in the early '90s. What else I did? So, and like I said, you had.
What's the name of your book? Tell us the name of your book.
Okay, I got 4 books. I came out the first one in I think 2004. So that was called The Basic History of LBC Hip Hop, or where I live at, Lynchburg, Virginia Hip Hop. And then I came.
Lynchburg, Virginia Hip Hop. Not LBC.
Yeah, then
I think about a different LB.
From Kings to Gang. Then the second one I came out with is 4 Elements of Hip Hop. They're dealing with 4 elements, like my brother was saying earlier about the drums. Drums is considered the turntablist nowadays. Poetry, it's considered the MC.
Right.
The breaking, that goes back, creative moves, yoga. A lot of it's comedic yoga. When we, doing certain moves and stuff like that, we're doing a form of comedic yoga and everything, right? They call it power moves, some of the stuff they do too. As power moves could be like, them doing all that type of stuff, or standing, spinning on that. We call them power moves nowadays. Trying to think of some other stuff. I like questions asked too, because that would get my brain popping. Oh, still ain't finished the books. Then the last one was From Kings to Gangsters. What happened was with that, when my son was like 11 years old, well, me and my son used to go around too when he was born. And when I came back to, because I was living in Texas, and then I came back to Virginia. When I came back to Virginia, again, nobody was doing it yet. Because then we talking about early, I guess, 2000? Yeah, around 2000 or so. It wasn't until Stump the Yard came out.
Okay.
Stuff like that people starting there to do crunk and all that stuff, you know what I mean? But before that came out, I was in my community trying to get the youth and showing them and give them another opportunity, another way to express themselves, another way to release that energy, that negative energy. I remember one time I had a class and it was 2 kids that pretty much, had a little disturbance between each other. So I said, we're going to take and act it out with your moves. So, it was very funny because, show them they want to hit them in the stomach, or kick them in the face, you know what I'm saying? Without actually doing it, but he was doing it with moves. And, everybody loved it. And they had a chance to, after it was over, show some love and release that energy. Right. And it was with hip hop, I probably, probably dead or in prison now myself, because the way I ran, in the streets and stuff like that. But my thing was always focused on being one of the best at what I do. So I took a lot of that energy and just put it into my music and my art form. You know what I'm saying? A lot of my comrades I had like about 30 people up under me. A lot of people said I had like first Wu-Tang Clan. I had a number of rappers and MCs and stuff. Like I said, I was the first one to start putting people out on mixtapes and stuff. And I had a video show. I had a lot of different things to do with hip hop, because it showed the avenue. When my son, like I said, he turned around 11. When our kids get a certain age, they start labeling us.
Yeah.
Right.
8 years old.
Yeah, they started at 8.
That's
I
right.
know back then it was about 11 or 12, but they probably even younger now. You know what I'm
Grade.
saying?
That's right.
Right, because the way we dress, maybe the way they talk, their slang, because they want you to talk English. I tell them I'm not an Englishman. I'm not from England, so I apologize, But we had a lot of that going on. And so what I did, and then the police came out with this paraphernalia, pamphlets, trying to tell the community what to look for. If you got your hat turned a certain way, you considered a gang member. If your pants a certain way, you considered a gang member. It had all these certain logos on hats. It was crazy. So it was literally jumping out. I was going around with the kids, filming them when they was jumping out on kids, making them take pictures, saying that they're gang members. Now, during that time, a lot of people don't understand what was really going on with the gang culture and why they promote it so much. is because once they go under the gang label, then that makes them now or the modern day. And I was speaking this, like I said, 8, 9 years ago. I was trying to tell them about domestic terrorists. So now it makes them under the domestic terrorist law. Okay, I'm not sure y'all starting to hear about the domestic terrorist law, recently, with this, since the riots and all that. Okay. So this now starting to be talked about. You see what I'm saying? But that's why they had so many kids or people of us. Definitely, we get some type of ticket or anything. You know what I'm saying? Because that puts us on a different sector of the law.
Right.
And I used to go around and teach kids that if they claim me as a gang member, if I steal a piece of candy, I might would have got a couple of weeks if I'm just a regular citizen. But by me saying that I'm a gang member, then I can get 2, 3, 4 months of time for the same piece of candy, for the same crime. You see what I'm saying? So that was I knew that's what part of the tactic they did, and definitely my city. I can't speak for nobody else's city. And I went around and I protested against that stuff. I had them start getting more black cops on the community, on the force, because I felt that we need to see our faces more than for we feel a little bit more comfortable when they coming around. Even then, even if they look like us, they the worst actually, because they trying to prove something. A lot of time they try to prove something. So I did that, and the program was called "I'm Hip Hop Not Gangster," and so I was showing that a lot of the dress and all that, the codes, all that actually is hip hop. You know what I'm saying? That's all it really is. The speech, the way we talk, that they end up calling ebonics or ebony talk. That's just our culture.
Right.
And we could be part of the same, we can look the same, we can live in the same neighborhood. But that don't mean we are part of the same culture.
Right.
And that's, I think, that's where we got it kind of twisted at, even in our community. And we got a lot of people afraid of our culture. You see? And scared to even, like, I've been in plenty of meetings. I said, how many of y'all just go outside and just say hi to the youth? And, anything. See what they need or want.
That's right.
Versus just scared. Oh, they over there doing this. They over there doing that. Call the police. That's the first thing to do, right? And I was like, no, we got to, get out of the community. That's what I did for a while. Instead, they started undermining. They had a lot of programs going. They started undermining a lot of stuff that I did. So I kind of like stepped back on the community tip because of a lot of politics. Like I said, I helped start a lot of stuff, and they wouldn't invite me to the meetings. The next thing I know, it's going on in the city. I'm like, wait a minute, that was my idea. I brought it to the table, So that's when I started. I think I ended up doing it from Kings to Gangster book, and that pretty much I try to go back into ancient time to give a lot of our culture. A lot of my stuff is like work booklets, and so I do that because a lot of us just need to be introduced to stuff. You know what I'm saying? We never really, if you never seen something, then you never know what it is, right? So at least if I introduce it to you, give you correct names and spellings, because a lot of stuff when we do research, you got to know exactly what you're researching for. Versus this, I see this, and then somebody else, I'm going up here, so to make it not so confusing, to give you very concrete information. If you want to go in depth, then you can.
Okay.
That was it, from Kings to Gangster. And then I came out, the last one I came out with was The Black Awakening. That was in 2017, because we had a lot of brothers still saying Black Power, and I'm like, we don't have no power. We need Black empowerment. I'm not sure I got, up under the skin a little bit, but that's okay. We speaking truth here. And as you know, now they talk, it was called The Black Awakening. Now they talking about being woke. Because like I was saying, they were talking about the consciousness, this, that, and the third. But my thing was, I think Eternal went to a couple months, and now we're woke, awakening, right? So I knew that in 2017 it was in an awakening state. We wasn't fully, we was getting there. It's gonna hit us. In 2000, as 2020, everything kind of really hit us. So when everybody wakening up, and they got anti-woke and all these other things. Hip hop, to me, like I said, is part of my meditation now. Like I said, I still do. I probably want to be doing it in the morning when I wake up. As far as my yoga and stuff like that, that's what I do. And any questions? Oh, that's it.
Well, you have all of your books with you, the ones you mentioned?
Yes, and
all of them are there. Okay.
And I really appreciate it if y'all can support me.
Absolutely.
If you haven't support me.
Absolutely.
And check them out. And that's what I can think of right now. Yes, ma'am.
Are you currently going to workshop with him?
No, I haven't done it in a while. I may get back out. I would love to get back out with it. But when I'm at, like I said, I'd rather for people to call me in and stuff like that. I've been doing stuff for free for so long. Free don't make it. You know, it leaves you broke. So I'm starting now. In the last couple of years, I'm gonna have to charge, you know, for whatever. I mean, because of the simple fact, I've been for 30 years. I mean, I don't DJ stuff. I don't under everything. The TV show I had, all that came out of my pocket. You know, I had to pay for the network, but it was coming out of my pocket. You know what I'm saying? And I was charging people. It's just all love. You know what I mean? But so you gotta start loving yourself too. You give away all your love, you ain't gonna have nothing left for yourself at the end of the day.
People pay everyone else for what they want.
Exactly.
But when they get to us, they want us to give them a discount or for free, or how can you do this for me? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's
they go to Walmart, they don't ask for no discounts.
But it's another to take total advantage. Yeah.
It's hard, you know, when we do it. I still would do a lot of stuff, but you know, I just can't do it like I was.
All the time.
Yeah, all the time. Every time you turn around, you know. I got a heart like that. That's part of my heart. And definitely what's going on here today with hip hop personally, a lot of it's garbage. You gotta understand, you got hip hop and then you got a lot of it's what's called underground. If you want the real lyrical, if you're looking at the commercial part of it, that's what everybody is seeing. But the real hip hoppers, the real masters, will what's called underground hip hop. You know, you gotta put the word underground in front of the hip hop to get the real, you know, stuff that's out today that's talking about something that's still conscious. We still doing the b-boying. We still doing the graffiti. We ain't going nowhere. We just underground, you know what I'm saying? Because of the fact they don't want us to be mainstream because it's a positive. And once we start opening up the mind, even when I was doing my program, I was getting harassed by police, framed, you name it. You'll go through it, trying to go through your community and trying to awaken the people, especially when you're rolling by yourself. So that really make it tough in a place called Lynchburg. So I mean, what more can I say about that word, right? But the good thing about it though, I did help brother named Albert Jennings. He helped get me into what's called Liberty University. I don't know if y'all heard of Liberty University before. That's the largest Christian college in the United States, or actually world, I think. We helped start a b-boy program over there, to where they was actually giving away scholarships for breakdancers. I don't know if they still doing that or not, but they was doing that for a while. So I helped started that program over at Liberty University. It was called the Peacemakers. And
wasn't that Pat? What was his name that started that college?
It's Jerry Falwell.
Jerry Falwell, right?
Yeah, Jerry Falwell.
Virginia Beach.
And Pat
Robinson.
Pat Robinson and them, yeah, they all there until they got into that heat, and then they had to go underground.
That just tells you the dynamics of that college when you mention those names as well.
Yeah, definitely, and a lot of people don't understand neither that I tell people that goes there, I said they wouldn't allow black people to go to their school until after this 72, 73.
Yeah.
Okay, now all they do is recruit us.
Well,
okay.
They're about conditioning though.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You have to be under the Christian label as well. You have to, go to when you go to school, you got to go to church 2-3 times a week and all that. That's part of the program till you go to the college.
Yeah.
Okay. But overall, Liberty also, I tell them that their father was bootlegger. That's how they got all that money.
Okay.
For those that don't know, I mean, there was big bootleggers. Pretty much, we'd say drug dealers. I mean, they probably the ones that bought the cocaine in when it did come in the 80s. Okay, ain't no doubt in my mind. But so they got their own airport, so you figure that out. So yeah, but that's all I can say right now.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank y'all for having me, Khalifa. Appreciate y'all coming in for next turn today. One love.